Hello, welcome. Okay, so I'm trying out a new hydrating primer today. It's called Tarte. I've used it a couple times. So far, I like it. So I'm just taking a little bit and putting that all over my face. I'm not gonna put it on my eyes. I will prime my eyes with my highlight color. So, all right. So we have that on. Again, that is Tarte C. It's just a little sample. And I'm liking it so far. So let's go ahead and jump into it. I'm going to do my face makeup first. I'm using my mini double decker. So I have my face colors on this side, and then on this side I have some eyeshadows that I'm going to use and the brush cleaning towel, which if you don't have it, you need to snag it because it is a lifesaver. Lately, I have been super obsessed with my 3D brush. You want to make sure that you are washing or cleaning your brushes at least once a week because they do hold bacteria, they do hold extra product that you don't need on your face, and using our brush cleaner is going to help save your brushes. So I'm going to start with my contour first. I'm going to use the pointy side of the 3D brush. I am using Astoria, and I'm just getting some of that on my brush. I know where my cheekbone ends, so that's where I'm starting, and I'm just gonna bring that line up to the top of my ear. And you can always build the color up. Just start lighter and build up. I'm just kind of cleaning that up. So I have that there. I always like to kind of go back and forth to blend it. And you can already see that this side of my face is starting to look a little bit more thinned out than this side. So that is what your contour is going to do. I bring my contour about to the middle of my forehead for that extra dimension. We're gonna do the same thing to the other side. And then I'm just gonna connect those contour lines. And whatever is left, I will put on my jawline. Okay, so I'm not gonna do any color correcting, though I could, like if I wanted full coverage, but I don't need all that today. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually gonna just color correct with my fingers. So I'm going to use my main highlight color. You can totally shade up if you want to color correct. But for this tutorial, I am just going to kind of spot treat with my finger and just lightly pat it over those areas. Again, this is not a full coverage look, and I cannot stop picking. It is terrible. So I've just put that there. Main highlight, I'm using Candlelit, I think, today. And using my finger just helps me like pinpoint where the spot is that I want to cover. I'm gonna go ahead and clean off my brush, but I am going to go ahead and flip, and I'm going to use, flip my brush. So I'm gonna use the bigger side of it. I'm gonna go to my main highlight, and I again am using Candlelit, which is the same color that I just color corrected with my fingers. And I am making sure that I do not like sway my brush back and forth like I just kind of showed you. I'm more so pushing it into my skin to make sure that makeup stays in place and really gets into my skin. I'm gonna just put a teeny bit right above my contour because this area right here I'm going to color correct with a different color, and I'm just using one layer of makeup. Okay, So now the fun part, we're actually gonna put a little bit more right here. Okay, so we have our main highlight color on. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with my accent highlight, and I am using Moonlit, which I have very dark circles under my eyes, which is why I use Moonlit. There are ways to color correct, but I don't want to layer the makeup on if I can have one color that fixes my problem. So I'm using the smaller side of this brush, putting that in the corner. And here is a little tip when you have dark circles. Normally your dark circles, it almost sometimes looks like I have eyeshadow on and I don't. It's just that my dark circles go all the way around and they're also right here. So you want to make sure that you are concealing that part of your eye as well. And I usually bring it up to about my temple and down to my nose, the end of my nose. And so I will show you how well that does. Now, if your main highlight color is not Candlelit or June, you may not want to shade all the way down to Moonlit because it is a very bright color. But because I have such dark circles and my main highlight is Candlelit right now, I'm able to pull that off and it doesn't look too bright and like dramatic. So look what that one color did to my eye. So we'll do the same thing to this side. Again, I'm making sure I do my whole eye and I'm bringing it down to the edge of my nose and just kind of using what's ever left over to bring to my temple. And then just blending. Makes a world of difference. Okay, so now that we have our accent highlight color on, I'm going to just bring this a little bit further down just so I can kind of see my lines. I will blend it all shortly. So I am going to use, I think I'm actually just going to use nude. Is this nude or plum? Let's see. This is nude. So I'm going to use nude on my lips and my cheeks. All right, get in there. Okay, so this color, let's go ahead, just put it on the lips. Okay, so now I'm gonna go to the bigger side of the brush. I'm not gonna worry about cleaning it because I only used it for a lighter color, but I am gonna get a teeny bit on there. I'm gonna smile, and then I'm just gonna kind of bring it right back over my contour. Same thing to the other side, smile. Because you want to make sure you get it on the apples of your cheeks. And then I take it back over my contour to start the blending process. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean my brush, which is literally just like a swipe or two to get the color off. Going in a circular motion and back over my contour. And I will show you a really cool trick, an easy trick in a second, if you feel like you've gotten messy. And you always want to blend your contour up. You never want to blend your contour down. So you can blend it up, just do not blend it down. Okay, so if you feel like you've gotten a little messy, which mine's okay, but you can always go back to your main highlight color and clean up. I'm not really gonna use much because I didn't really get too messy, but sometimes I do. So I'm just making sure I don't have any harsh lines. You can always build up that cheek color if you want it. It's really up to you. I usually just like a little distinct color, nothing too dramatic. So usually me just applying once does the trick. Okay, so I have those colors on. I need to make sure that I blend my contour into my forehead and then underneath my chin. Now, for my contour, I'm just going to use my fingers for my nose contour. I'm just going to get a little bit on my middle finger. I'm literally just kind of patting it in the product. I'm rubbing it on both of my fingers. And I'm lightly just creating these lines on my nose. Okay? And I think doing it with your fingers is so easy. It's honestly, for me, like easier than using any brush. And then I'm just gonna take a little bit of my accent and go right in the middle. Now, you can also take your accent, which I forgot to show you, but you can also take your accent highlight, put a little bit on your chin, and a little bit between your brows, and then blend. And then you always want to blend out your lines just a little bit, not over blending. And then I just take my brush and blend in that accent in the middle. Okay, so now the fun part. I'm going to use my bronzer, which I'm using Glow Bronzer. Not bronzer, my Glow Illuminator also as a bronzer. So I'm going to get some on the bigger side of my brush, my 3D brush, and I'm going to put that on the outsides of my forehead. Now, if you are very oily, you probably do not want to use an illuminator as a bronzer, or this as a bronzer. You want to just stick with Bella or Cayman. But this one has a little bit of sparkle, and I love it. I'm just going to put a teeny bit on the tops of my cheeks. Kind of get close so you all can see a little bit better. So it is going to provide me some shine in the areas that I place it. So again, if you don't want that shine, you don't have to worry about applying it. And I always take it down my neck, a little bit on my nose, and then now I'm just making sure everything is blended. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to set it. I'm actually just going to go back to my 3D brush and use that to set. Now you would want to clean your brush if the brush that you're using for your makeup, you were actually using to set too, because you don't want to be applying your makeup and you have setting powder in your brush. It can make your application a little wonky. And if you saw my room, my bed is not made. Two of my pups out of the 3 are laying in it. So I'm gonna bake my makeup. So I'm putting my Airspun setting powder under my eyes. You saw me put it there already. Now, be careful because you can easily get it on your shirt. I do it all the time. I'm gonna put a little bit above my brows. Okay, so we're gonna leave that there while we do a super easy eye look, and then we will wipe off any excess. So I am going to start with this color right here, which is Leo, I believe. Oh, I keep dropping stuff today. Oh no, it's actually, it's one of the Advent colors, but Leo is very, very similar, which we might actually, this might be in the new collection, so I'll have to look. So I'm getting a little bit on my brush, and I'm gonna use this as my transition color. This is not gonna be a super dark look, but we are gonna add a little bit of shimmer. It's gonna be super pretty. So just back and forth, windshield wipering in that crease. And because my eyes are a little hooded, I do like to bring that color up a little bit because I wanna make sure that when you're looking at me, you're able to see that color. So we're gonna do the same thing to the other side. And again, just brushing it up a little bit so that when our eyes are open, you see it. I'm just gonna deepen this one a little bit. Try to get them even. Okay, so that color we have is our transition color. Now what we're going to do is we're gonna use this color right here, which is one of the new collection colors. It's called Figgy Puddin', but there's a new name for it because they renamed them all. I am going to use the smudge brush and just get a little bit of that on there because I'm gonna build this color up. I don't know if I've ever used it before, so I wanna just kind of test it. We're just gonna put it in that corner, okay? Just putting it in the corner. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to my eyeshadow brush and we're just gonna blend that out a little bit. So you have more control over your brush when you hold it back. And I can say this from experience, I am still learning a lot of stuff with eyeshadows, and when I'm practicing, or when I was first learning eyeshadows, I wanted to hold it like this, but I'm promising you, and sometimes I still do it and I have to catch myself, but I am promising you, you can blend much better when you hold your brush back. Same thing to the other side. And then obviously you can always deepen it if you need to. You just will do the exact same thing. Okay, so I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna add a teeny bit more. I'm gonna add a little bit in the crease, now that I kind of know what it's gonna look like. I like the smudge brush, which is the brush that I first used to use this color, for a placement. If I'm not super sure like what the color is going to look like, it's awesome. Okay, so we have those two colors on. Now I'm gonna go to this color right here, which is ginger. And when you're using a glitter, it's best to either use your fingers or you can use the multitasker brush. So. Okay. Do I say okay like a million times? I know that's so annoying. Now I'm just blending it out a teeny bit. Let's see what it looks like in my other mirror. Okay, so I'm loving it. The last step is I'm gonna go in with this color right here, which is Sabrina, and I'm going to use that as my brow bone color. And I normally don't do my eyes first or last because of any fallout. So if there is any fallout, you would want to correct that before you set your face, which I know already set my face. So I'm easily kind of just cleaning up any of the mess up on the corners. And then I'm going to go in with my mascara. And so my setting powder has totally sat for the amount of time that it's needed to. Honestly, I let it sit for as long as I can, just to keep letting the makeup bake. And I can tell you that I am loving. This is not my favorite mascara. I don't know what I did with it. I thought I put it on my table. But I'm loving Thrive mascara for my bottom lashes. As far as like no transfer, it is amazing. Oh, what did I get right here? My hair. So if you are looking for a mascara that does not transfer, at least for bottom lashes, I don't normally, I'm doing it because I didn't love that first mascara I was using, but I don't normally use Thrive on my top, but love it on the bottom. So that's just my preference. And then I'm just gonna take my brush and get that excess powder off, but I'm gonna brush it in the areas I didn't set. And the reason you don't want to put your setting powder like on in your contour areas is because it will discolor it. It will make your contour color look almost white, and then it's going to take away that dimension. So you want to make sure that if you are using a powder, you're mostly just like wiping the powder in that area, then letting it bake for a long time. So that's all I have for you all. This is the finished product. If you want to be color matched, DM me or fill out the Google form, which I will post below. If you have any questions, let me know. Have a good one.